Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so I have been bringing a lot of rank 4 gameplay to you in last few days, but perhaps none other video I have been looking forward as much as this one, because as many of you know, I am an absolute fan of Mallman. So huge thanks to I am Negan, who reached out to me and offered me some Mallman gameplay. So we do have Realm of Legends Winter Soldier, Realm of Labyrinth of Legends Red Hulk, and then a whole bunch of KVQ, Do You Bleed Medusa boss, Variant 6 Bleed Vulnerability, and some Act 7 as well. So we have quite a bit of gameplay. He also did spec Liquid Courage Double Edge Masteries as per my request, because obviously they do help Mallman significantly when it comes to the damage output. And here is going to be the fight. Let's see how many hits it takes for a rank 4 6-star Mallman to take down this Winter Soldier. So at the moment we can see nice 10 bleeds there on the Winter Soldier ticking away. And he's probably going to be looking to drop in a heavy attack very quickly, just to obviously make sure that his charges and his monster mass does not run out. But by the time he gets to his first level 2, Winter Soldier is already halfway down. And now he will have to go in for another heavy, probably just to refresh them, just to recharge those charges. Perhaps a bit more. Maybe he could have just went in for that level 2. But as we can see here, that fight didn't last all that long. Mallman's an absolute damage monster. And this one lasted exactly 35 hits to be specific. So 35 hits, 500,000 HP gone. But let's make it a bit more interesting. Now, unfortunately, I do not know the synergy team that is being used in this fight, but whichever synergy team it is, let's just see how Mallman does. So obviously, you do want to build up plenty of charges in this fight, because Limber is going to be a bit of a pain later on, and you're going to have to be able to punish Red Hulk's specials and or heavies with heavy of your own. So he's going all the way up to 18 charges here before he starts properly dishing out the damage. But in this fight, he also has class advantage. So each and every single one of those bleeds are ticking away for like 500 or so a tick. And yeah, that Red Hulk unsuspectedly is already down like 16% health. And we are barely starting to do damage properly here. Now, you can play Mallman with two different strategies. One of them is obviously with level 2s, and one of them is with level 1s. As I showed in one of my older Mallman showcase videos, there isn't that huge of a difference in reality, because with level 1s, you do extra burst damage while opponent is under the effect of shock. With level 2s, you just have that major, massive level 2, especially if your Mallman is awakened and you manage to throw that level 2 whilst your Unstoppable is active. So here he's going to go to punish that level 1 with a heavy attack of his own to keep the charges nice, high, and healthy. So Red Hulk is at 60% here. So in reality, he doesn't even need to find an opening. I would have just held a block and used the charge there to absolutely go ham at the Red Hulk, but he is dropping, a few more heavy attacks just to be sure that he has maximum amount of charges. But note that he's only like 30 hits in. 30 hits in, and that Red Hulk is halfway down already. So, over halfway down. So, and that is obviously definitely due to the fact that he has been fairly good at getting his heavy attacks in here as well. And those heavy attacks do crit for like 17k per hit guaranteed. And Red Hulk is down to 30-some%, and his health is definitely absolutely melting. Man, I so love Mallman, and those the huge amount of bleeds that you can get an opponent is awesome too. So here he's just going to go for level 2 with Unstoppable active. That does give you extra damage there as well. He does hit for like 30k there in the last hit. Red Hulk is on 14% here at this point. He just used the Unstoppable to gain in a safe and guaranteed punish. He's gonna probably punish that special one with a heavy of his own. And that is going to be a Red Hulk going down in what, sub 70 hits is what I like to guess. It is probably gonna be sub 70 or close to it. There we go. He still is easily on his 12-13 charges, and that Red Hulk is dead in how many hits? Oh no, never mind. It's 91 because he did have to enter the monster mass and get hit, but still sub 100 hit Red Hulk takedown. Fairly nice. I like that. I like that. So let's check out the Do You Bleed Medusa that we all had to do recently if you were doing Karina challenges. So those Karina challenges definitely were quite pesky with that buffet and everything else. But obviously, thanks to True Accuracy, first and foremost, you do not need to worry about auto block and by extension, not really worry about explosive personality. And then the only thing to really take care of it is the buffet node. But if you do know that it's coming, it's not too hard to play around it. And he's probably just going to build up to level 3 as well, just to get more monster mass charges and be done with it. But we can definitely see that the bleed is putting in plenty of work there. Actually, it doesn't really seem that he does get the damage increase from the bleed vulnerability. That's kind of weird, because bleed vulnerability should be active and he should be having a triple of his bleed damage. But either way, the Do You Bleed Medusa definitely is going to be going down. He just needs to bait out that level 2. Probably going to go for his level 3 if he needs to rely on it at all. Unfortunately, here he does eat a heavy attack, but you just need to become a bit more aggressive and get those bleed stacks going. So here we can see that at this point, now he does have 6 bleeds on that Medusa, and she's definitely, about to be toasted. So he needs to go and drop another full combo, because, the only damage that you can do in this fight is the bleed damage. So any other damage does not really contribute. Well, you can't do any other damage besides bleed damage. But it does look like the bleed vulnerability is not working on this fight necessarily, which is kind of odd. Which is definitely kind of odd. That was a bit weird with interaction there. And now Medusa is still at, what, 28%? I'm going to be honest, I do think he's doing himself a bit of a disservice here by not being significantly more aggressive earlier on, than dropping that level 3 to regain the charges, rather than trying to play safe and slowly. But she goes down nonetheless. But let's check out Mallman in Cav EQ. So I believe this is this month's Cav EQ, which actually doesn't help skill champions all that much. When you alternate your combo enders, you basically put physical vulnerability debuff on the opponents, which obviously does help your damage a bit. But comparatively speaking, remembering how effective Mallman is with pretty much every single Cav EQ node for skill champions, this didn't seem to help him that much. However, at a rank 4 6-star level, he does not need any help. As we can see here, you just drop 1 heavy attack, 2 combos, level 1, and the fight is over. So that was an extremely rapid fight. We do have another one coming in this same clip, which is going to be against Star-Lord. So against Wasp, he did have class advantage, and Wasp is obviously notoriously a glass cannon type of champion. But let's see how it is going to work out now against champion with no class advantage, and against champion that is, moderate in its health pool, so to speak. So again, he has 6 charges here. Wonderful. He goes in here for a full combo, and he does drop a heavy attack this time around. So now he ought... that cheeky Star-Lord there. He just randomly decided to throw that heavy attack from the distance. But still, we are like 16 hits in, and that Star-Lord's dead. It does not need to be touched upon. That Star-Lord is just deadish. Right, let's go to variant 6, Bleed Vulnerability. Let's check out how this one looks like against Void. Obviously, Mallman does have an excellent Void matchup, because A, you can not enter Frenzy, and you will guaranteed shrug off all debuffs to begin with. And that also often answers many of the Void's trickiest matchups when you go up against several nodes that either force you to start the fight with many debuffs or what have you. But then later on, you can just go on and nuke down that Void. And obviously, you do get class advantage as well. And here we can see Bleed Vulnerability working properly. Here you can see Bleed Vulnerability working properly. So either I'm missing something, or Medusa doesn't have it anymore, or it just wasn't working in that fight, which is quite odd. But that was a fairly stacked Void going down like an absolute nobody. So now we're going to have 185k health pool Proxima. Let's see how long does this fight take. So she has 185k health, nearly 200k health. And with that, we're going in for the first full combo finish. Probably going to go in for the second full combo finish with a level 1. And it's going to be the, what, 15 hit fight? And that is just beautiful. I remember that path. It is a great fun if you do have a champion that does, huge amounts of bleed. Here is one of the interesting interactions. Ebony Maw is meant to have guaranteed miss against guaranteed critical hits. But I do not think that Maulman's hits are coded in as guaranteed crits, even in Frenzy. Because because as we can see, he's not missing. And this is something that I had noticed previously before. Because I do think they just give him really, really high crit chance. And this interaction has always kind of puzzled me. Because obviously he does have guaranteed crits against, Ghost on several special attacks, or against several nodes, and against Corvus as well. But Maulman always was able to hit Ebony Maw. And I do think that is because his coding is such that he just gets massive crit bonus. Because I have also seen Maulman's guaranteed crits not crit in situations where there's massive crit resistance. I'm not talking like, crit resistance that Doom has, but I'm talking like nodes that basically says that, you have like 90-something% crit resistance. But either way, all of these opponents are just getting absolutely wasted here. It's basically a fight that you would expect somewhere in, I don't know, Masters or Heroic difficulty. Just go in there, hit them with 2 combos and be done with. That is exactly the reason why Maulman is also one of my favorite questing champions. Because, he's just that good for it. You can see 1 combo, gonna go in for 2nd combo. He's not even going for a level 1, he's just gonna wait there. He's just gonna wait there. That was 11 hits in total. 1 heavy attack, 2 combos, and that's a variant opponent absolutely annihilated. And this entire lane to get to this point has taken 3 minutes of a video so far. Man, that champion is definitely a champion that puts a smile on my face. He obviously is running at the moment a synergy team that increases the bleed damage as well, so that is definitely worth to be noted. And against Magneto, it's going to be a bit interesting because Magneto is mutant, so he does not necessarily will shrug off the debuffs, as we can see here. He did not shrug off the bleed. And on top of all of that, Magneto does have bleed resistance. However, on bleed vulnerability paths, it doesn't really matter all that much because he's still taking large amounts of damage there. So, right, that's it of this clip. And then we have last clip that is in 7.15 on also bleed vulnerability lane. And let's check out how he does here, because these guys might not have more attack than... That's interesting, by the way. Act 7 all of Act 7 champions basically have less attack, significantly less attack than variant champions do, but they obviously have significantly more health. And now let's see what Hood is going to do here against that Maulman. So he goes in for another heavy attack here, and then basically immediately punishes that, baits out the level 1, and just goes for level 1. I think if he went for level 2, he probably would have finished this, but level 1 will have to do. And yeah, we can see 1 dead Hood with 25 hits. And these are, again, significantly jacked opponents. This is also a very awesome matchup for Maulman against Invisible Woman. I have had this specific fight in, many areas of the game because Maulman is an amazing against Invisible Woman, obviously, because it's class advantage, because you consistently bleed her, because you initially get extra debuffs, and, all that extra stuff that works. And yes, you do not directly counter the miss, but it's still just one of those things, one of those matchups where everything always kind of works out very well for you. So he goes there, baits out a special attack, goes for a full combo. I think he wants to drop a level 2. But that's definitely going to be an overkill, because the first hit already hits for like 36k. And yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. It's worth noting that Maulman is one of those champions that definitely highly benefits from any attack modifiers that you can place on him. And whenever there is a node that increases his attack by like 50 or 100% or whatever, Maulman is one of those champions that really does benefit from it highly. But now I think this is going to be the last fight of the video, and it is going to be against Vulture. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this clip so far. Honestly, it's gonna be 15 plus minutes long, but it absolutely flew. Because what's not like? Tons of debuffs, tons of guaranteed crits, tons of damage, and a very unique character doing all of that. So absolutely love Mallman Showcase, and it was my pleasure and privilege to comment over it. So huge thank you for the recording to I am Negan, and this is the gameplay that we have here. This is the gameplay that we have here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, then hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the good buttons. As a side note, I did add all of my rank 4 showcases in a single playlist earlier today, just for your convenience. And that being said, yeah, hit all the good buttons, and I shall be back later. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about